Well, there are many therapies that don't involve drugs, including acupuncture, which can help you deal with chronic pain.
Acupuncturist Margaret Landry is joining us in studio this morning to talk more about how acupuncture can really improve your overall health. Margaret, first off, probably the most basic question that people probably have for you is exactly what is acupuncture?
Acupuncture is the art of placing very fine needles in certain points on the body to affect a response in the body, to help trigger your own healing capacity so that you can, maybe not see this one, but...
Did you just put that in? Ah!
Can you see that on the top of my head
I
there?
can see that up there.
Anyway, the needles are super, super fine. You want to just
I'll
wave
hold one up for you.
Yeah, if you want to just wave your finger across there, it's not stiff.
It's super bendy.
Wow.
Yeah. And the needles come in you know, sterile packs, and we usually use these tubes to insert them.
Yeah.
Because they're so bendy, if you want to put something in a little deeper than shallow, it's easy to load one of these up, and then you just tap it in.
Woo!
Woo! There went one flying out.
The other one flew out.
So let's just talk about finding these different places to put these needles in. What kind of there's a lot of different benefits depending on where you're putting them, right?
Right, and there are different schools of thought about how some of that works. So if we look at this Meridian man, you can see that there are meridians all over the body, and they travel not only on the outside, you know, the points we needle are on the outside, but they also go inside to connect with the internal organs and other parts of the body. And then there are what we call muscle meridians. So you see this one that's going up here like this? It's wider than that because it follows along the whole muscle area.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when people are coming in, they're coming in for a number of different things to get help with.
Right. The main things we treat would be pain is number one. Stress is also very big, including even PTSD. It works great for that. Wow. Insomnia, anxiety, you name it. And then fertility, digestive problems, side effects from cancer treatments.
Obviously, we've heard a lot in the news lately about the opioid epidemic and looking for alternatives to treating that chronic pain. I would imagine that you've had a lot of people maybe seeking your type of services out for something like that?
Right, and they may have been on opioids and they're not addicted and they want to come and they want to find another way to treat it because they don't want to be on the opioids forever. So yes, that's very effective. You know, acupuncture doesn't work 100% of the time, but it is very effective for most people for many, many conditions. And there are a number of organizations such as the World Health Organization and the National Institutes of Health, the American College of Physicians. You know, in Germany, most pain clinics have acupuncturists.
Wow.
So they provide acupuncture services for pain. The American College of Physicians recently had a new guideline, and they suggested that rather than give drugs right away for pain, try an alternative or two.
Have you had anyone's story, and you don't have to use their names, but who came in and then kind of had this horrible pain and now are kind of seeing success after coming and seeing you?
Yes, and sometimes it can happen very fast, and sometimes it's longer term. I had a patient who came in with frozen shoulder and had researched online and said, well, it's going to take a year to fix this. So she started acupuncture and started physical therapy, and 2 treatments later, she canceled her 3rd appointment because she was fine.
Wow.
And I don't even like those stories very much because then people think, well, 1 treatment and my 30-year condition is going to be gone. I have another person I've treated who came in not only with terrible back pain, but also PTSD and insomnia and numerous things like that. And she was taking 4 meds for those kinds of things, depression, insomnia, etc. And she's down to only a part of 1 of those now.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you take a look at the body and you see so many different pinpoints, but you even brought one of just the single ear, which I was like, I can't believe that 1 ear has so many trigger points that can do different things.
That's true. Yeah, there are some points here. That's kind of a happy point, and this is kind of a balance point in here. There's a German version, a French version. It actually was started in France. There's a Chinese version, and so there are over 200 points on the ears.
Holy
and you can
buckets.
treat almost anything from almost anywhere.
Wow.
That is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And it just shows you how connected your body really is.
Right.
You know, and how much you really could do from it.
All right.
Well, I know too, because you're not a needle person, but you've had acupuncture done before, and it
have.
like people are like, oh, but it's needles, but it doesn't feel like anything.
No, it didn't. I mean, you barely noticed it. You might have noticed it a tiny bit when it went in, but then you didn't really notice it at all.
Right. And so we also have these implantable needles that are super, super fine, and they are gold plated and they stay in the ears.
Wow.
And so for somebody who comes from a long distance, I like to be able to offer therapies like that.
And where are you located then for people to come and visit?
1020 South Washington in Grand Forks. And I'm happy to be there.
And how do people, is it phone? You guys have a website, Facebook page? What's kind of the best way to get in contact with you?
All three.
All of them.
I have Facebook, Margaret Landry, licensed acupuncturist. I have www.acupuncture-grand-forks.com. And my phone is 218-289-7384. Call or text.
There you go.
Awesome. Margaret, thank you
you
so much for coming in today.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be wrapping things up when we come back.